Welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory, our endgame mega factory construction. And on this episode, it's time to work on our plastic and rubber manufacturing facility, as we've got all of our iron ingots, our limestone and concrete, our copper ingots, our steel and caterium production done. So now it's plastic and rubber we got to do. So sit back, relax, and let's jump into it. Alright, so first things first is we got to find a good suitable location to be able to put up our plastic and rubber factory. So we're going to do a quick scan here and try to find us some crude oil. I know there's some off in this direction. I just can't remember how far away it is. So we're going to find out here real quick as it ends up ticking up on our display here. It should pop up. There we go. 868 meters, 1179. So we've got some off in that direction. So that's the way we're going to be heading. We've got our Explorer here, so we'll be going on a little bit of a drive to go find this. But let's go find our factory location for our plastics. Alright, so we've gone a little bit of a drive here, and I can see that there's an oil pocket right there. But let's have a look and see just how many are in the area here. We'll do a quick scan and see. Oh, there's another one over there, one there, and I think there was another one that's up over that way. So we'll do a quick tour around here and just see how much oil we can get out of this. Because I think I want to say it's about 1,200 oil. I've got it written down here. I need 1,260 crude oil at a minimum to be able to build everything that we need to do. So let's go find our way down there and give it a drive and see what we can find for oil nodes down here. Alright, so the first one that we've got is right over here. And we'll have a quick look and see if we can see what kind of a node we've got here. This is an impure oil node. Well, I guess that's not fantastic, but I'm going to put a marker down here. So, impure crude. And then we'll head off to the next one and see what we find, which is the one that's just over here. And hopefully we're going to get more than just like impure nodes out here. Oh, hello, we got friends. We've got friends! Where's my weapon of choice? Okay, we got the big guy down. Now we just got to get rid of the bees. I hate the bees. The bees are so annoying. They're about as fun as wasps. Alright, I think we got... Oh, no, there's still another pod worth over here, so we're going to clean them out, too. Oh, and I missed them all. Who's left? Who's left? Okay, we got them. Here's the node right here. This one, also impure. Well, that's not very pleasant now, is it? Let's throw that down. We'll mark that. Impure crude. Oh, I totally didn't type that right. Let's try that again. Impure crude. Alright, let's find another node here. Okay, so we've got this other one over here, and it's a normal node. Okay, that's at least hitting in the right direction. So we're going to mark this as a normal crude. So we've had 2 impure and 1 normal. Let's see if we got some more over here. Looks like there's some out this way, so we're gonna keep our search. Be a little bit nicer if it was daylight. Because it'd be a little easier to see the spots on the water here, but... And of course, this is probably going to be protected as well, too. The last couple of nodes I've come across here, I've had to fight some stuff, so... Oh, there looks like there might be... Oh, wow, he's a big guy. Hold on. We've got some fighting to do. trying to get underneath those guys. That's your best approach with fighting those guys. Get underneath them if you can. So this is not an oil. Another normal one here. So we're going to throw this down. So that's normal. And yeah, we'll just have to figure out and see if this is pretty close to what we need here. So normal crude. Okay, so we've got 4 nodes that we found here so far. I'm just going to do another quick scan this way and see if there's more kind of off in this direction. Oh yeah, there is quite a bit more over here. There is still more, so we will keep searching. Now, I have just done a quick check as I'm walking over to the next set of nodes that we've got here. With the 2 normal nodes that we've got and the 2 impure at overclocked to 250%, that's only going to get us 900 crude. So we still need to pull off some better nodes here to get up to that, what was it, 1260 mark we needed? So we still got a ways to go. We're gonna, hopefully there's some better ones up here. A nice pure one. If we could get 1 pure one here, and then what would that, 1 pure and 2 normals would get us to 1200, and then we just top up with one of those impures. So hopefully we can find that here. And the one that we did have over here is a pure node, so I'm going to mark this one here as well. So we should have enough oil now with what we've got here. So now it's a matter of just getting everything all set up and built into a plant. And there's a bunch of lizard doggos around here too, so we might be able to gather up some friends if we can find some berries. But I'm almost positive that there's going to be another node like really close right here as well too. So I'm just going to keep looking around because there were a lot of mobs over here. There were like 4 beehives and 4 of the... Oh yeah, there is another one right here. 4 of the fire spitting dudes. So, oh hey, here's another pure one. Oh, perfect. So we could go pure and 1 of the normal nodes, and that'll get us plenty of oil for what we need to be able to do. So I think we found our spot. We've got 2 pure nodes right close to each other here. And now we could just start building the factory. All right, so a quick little recap of where we're at here now. I have the 2 pure nodes, and I found a normal node actually right over here, which combined, this is going to give us 1,500 cubic meters of crude oil for our production line. And I've set up a platform here, and I've started setting out where my refineries are going to be. I'm going to need to be able to process that much crude oil. I'm going to need 50 refineries that are going to be able to look after all of that. Not to mention what's going to end up getting used for converting the fuel, heavy oil residue into fuel that's going to be coming out of these as well too. So we still got a lot of work to do here, but this is where we're at right now. So I'm going to work at getting all of the refineries set up here, and then we'll have a look and see how this looks with all the refineries here. Now, I'm nowhere near having this done yet, but it is looking pretty cool already as is. I do have the 50 refineries down. I still need a bunch of copper piping and stuff that I've got to do. But you got to admit, this is kind of a little bit overwhelming. It does have a great visual appeal to it. So I'm probably thinking I might even leave this section open like this where all the pipes are coming up. I'm really liking how that is all set up. So I just have to make sure that I get the flow and everything configured. I'm hoping that I'll be able to come in this side with 600 cubic meters per minute. And then I'll take this line, the 600 cubic meters per minute, and I'll bring it in from the far end. And then right in the middle, I'll take this 300 cubic meter line and drop it in right at the lowest point in the middle here, which I think is about... It's right around here somewhere is where that'll tee in. So we'll have 600 coming in from one side, 600 coming in from the other side, 300 hitting the middle. And I'm thinking it should distribute the fluid fairly evenly to all the refineries. But so far, really liking how this is turning out. And visually, it does look pretty good where we're at right now. So, of course, we still have to put the output side and then gather up all of the heavy oil residue and turn that into fuel and make fuel generators and stuff. So there's still a lot more to go, but I mean, we're well on our way to be able to get our plastic and rubber factory done. Okay, so we have our plastic and rubber manufacturing basically set up and ready to go now. We have all of our crude oil being imported in from the inside lane here. And then we are exporting out on this side. I have our rubber that's going down this way. And then all of our plastic is that complete far side over there. And then these last few over here look after our plastic manufacturing, because we need more plastic manufacturing than we do rubber for our goals here for our mega factory. So that's got that all set up. But we also have our heavy oil residue that we need to be dealing with. So I've color coded the export of these pipes here for the heavy oil residue, and that I have all feeding around, and it's going to basically like a fluid accumulator that's at the end here, a fluid buffer. So we'll be able to store some of this, but we need to make sure that we're actually doing something with this heavy oil residue, because we need to get rid of it, because if it backs up, then our plastic and rubber production plant is going to shut down because of the waste heavy oil residue. So that's what's going to happen over here, is we've got these 10 refineries here that will be able to handle all of the heavy oil residue, and it's going to be converting it into fuel, is how we've got this set up right now. So this is going to be receiving, each one receives 60 heavy oil residue per minute, and it's going to export 40 fuel per minute. And then the fuel that it exports from here, we will set up fuel generators, probably somewhere off that way or off to the side. I'm not entirely sure exactly where I'm going to put them yet, but they're going to be set up here, and it's going to take 33 fuel generators to consume all of the fuel that is going to be coming off of these 10 refineries that are going to be converting that heavy oil residue into oil. So that's how we're going to deal with the waste. So that's the next bit that I have to get set up here. And yeah, so hold on here while we get the heavy oil residue processing done. Okay, we now have our heavy oil residue processing facility all set up, ready to go. So we'll be able to handle all of the waste material that's coming off of our refineries making our plastic and rubber. That's going to come through into these refineries here, converting it into fuel. And then from fuel, I've got it going into a industrial fluid buffer here, so that we've got a little bit of play in case something gets backed up at all. And then we have it hooked into these 33 generators. So these 33 generators will be able to take that fuel, and of course they're going to generate for us. I want to say it's just about 5 gigawatts worth of power that we're going to get off of this. And this whole plant uses 1.8 gigawatts of power. So we're over 3 gigawatts of net power gain off of the waste materials that we're processing off of this. So this should be able to, I think we're at a point now where I can actually fire up all of these systems and get our plastic and our rubber producing, and then have all of our power generation and everything happening all at the same time here. So I'm going to go along and hook up all the power cables to all this, and then when we come back, we'll have plastic and rubber up and producing, and we will have our waste materials processed and power being generated. Okay, we have fired everything up, but due to fluid slosh, it's going to take a little bit for this to all kind of balance out. We do have all of our oil getting pumped into the system. Our waste materials are coming out. It's just slowly starting to come out. So it's going to take a little bit for the system to basically charge up. We are getting some rubber production, as you can see here. It's heading off, and we are getting our plastic production up and running. We're not quite at our 780 items per minute, which this system will start generating here. So we're just basically kind of limping it along here as it gets fired up. So once everything all is full and flowing along, things will be working out quite well here. Like right now, I think we've only got 4 of the fuel generators up and running. Well, it might be up to 6 now. So it's taking some time as everything is all building up and starting to work through our system here. So let's have a look once it's all charged up. Okay, I think I finally have things working the way they're supposed to. I did end up having to kind of raise up on each end the two pure nodes that we have coming in at 600 cubic meters. I put in this little line buffer in to bring the pipe level above what the machines were, so that the system would be forced to take the crude oil coming from our normal node, which is the 300 cubic meters. I want it to always draw from this one first, and then it pulls from the 600 at each end. So I put in these little, it's kind of like a fluid buffer, but basically it's just raises the elevation and kind of prevents the backflow of our oil that's happening, our crude oil that's coming through. And it brings it to just above the surface of, or the height of the actual intake of our refineries. And that has made like all the difference. Everything here, we've got a couple of them that are still yellow, but it's just taking a few more seconds for them to fill out. Where before, like half of these were still yellow and not running efficiently. But we're starting to get caught up here now. And our plastic production is actually moving along at a pretty good clip. If we look at our output line here on the plastic, there's going to be the occasional stutter, but I don't need a pure 780 items coming out of this. I basically need about 715 items coming out. So if we have a little bit of a stutter, it's not that big of a deal. But I think once everything all charges up, it's going to be working a whole lot more efficiently. So that is our plastic line, our plastic and rubber productions. And if you look down here now, there's like only like there's one of them that's yellow down there now. Where, I mean, literally before, every other one of these was yellow and it wasn't producing. And even our fuel generation now is almost maxed out and our fuel generators are running. So we're getting all of our power happening now. So it's just a little bit of a logistics tweak to help with the flow of fluid and kind of set a priority as to what line it draws its oil from. So we have now completed our plastic and our rubber production. So we're just going to quickly go back and see where all of this feeds back to at our base. And then we should be able to wrap things up here pretty quick. Okay, we're at the other end, back at our mega factory over here. And if we have a look at what I've done with our production line here. So basically, I have set up a couple programmable splitters here. This one is set that I've basically made these storage containers as the primary line. And these are here for me to be able to pull from whenever I want to be able to pull some materials. And I see I don't have the rubber set up right. It should be working the way it's supposed to, but it's not, which means it's not connected properly. So I'm going to have to fix this line, but I will get that fixed here in a little bit. But basically, with the programmable splitters, I've got it set that it priority fills the storage unit. So if I come here and I decide, you know what, I want to take some plastic out of here, I'm going to grab some plastic. Then it switches, automatically fills to here, and then this line is set to overflow. Now, right now, I have it getting just dumped into an awesome sink because I don't want my system to back up there at all. So that is going to just keep the plastic flowing and the rubber flowing into the awesome sinks once these containers are full. Now, when we decide we're actually going to be using this plastic in the production line, obviously I'll remove these awesome sinks out of here. And then we will feed the plastic to where it needs to go. And at the end of the line, for whatever reason, if there's any overflow of plastic, I'll have an awesome sink set up at the end of it to be able to take any of the excess plastic materials that we're not using. I've also done the same thing over here at the concrete. Since this is basically a final end product, the concrete manufacturing, I have it set up in the exact same way where it priority feeds into a storage container and its overflow will be for our production line. And that's just in case I come along and I take out some concrete from it, then it will prioritize refilling our storage container, and then it'll go back to working on our production lines. So that's how I've got it all set up here. Now, with that said, I'll have to go and fix the rubber storage because the conveyors weren't working properly, but that'll be just how I placed that. Actually, you know what? Let's just do that here right now real quick. Let's grab our programmable splitter, and what I'll do is I'll just move it back here a little bit from where I was working before as I deal with an autosave. So I had just placed it on here, and it didn't link properly to the conveyor. So now I'm actually going to click on this conveyor system and just move it back a little bit. And then we're going to come up here, and I'm going to set this line to overflow. And on the right side is going to be any. And then we're going to grab our Mark V conveyor, and I'm just going to feed that into the top of this one. So this 9 now should be taking all of the rubber. Oh, every once in a while, if you connect a conveyor to these, it's kind of a glitch with the programmable splitters. If you connect something to them after you've set it up, it resets them all. So I'm going back to set this to overflow because I won't be attaching anything on the left side. So now all of the rubber is flowing into here as the priority line. And then once this is full, then the remainder will shoot off into the awesome sink, and that will be that. And then, of course, I put these little ramps on the front here just so that we know, okay, this is our rubber storage. This one over here is our plastic storage. So we got a visual representation as to what's inside each of the containers. I did the same thing over on the concrete. So that is that. And, of course, all of this is getting trucked from just over on the other side of this cliff face here, or whatever. It's a little jaunt a ways, but up there is where our plastic and rubber manufacturing facility is, and all of the finished goods are coming back into here so that it can be used on this next floor or floors above, depending on how things are built, for the rest of our manufacturing. So with that said, there's our next set of raw materials done, which was the crude oil. So the next thing that we're going to end up having to work on is our aluminum manufacturing. And we're going to save that for the next episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. This one was a little bit longer this time because, you know what? Plastic and rubber manufacturing is quite the process, and it takes a long time to get it all working as intended. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Reach down, hit the like button on the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and also give me a follow on social media at TerrisDWDC, and that's available on Instagram and Twitter. With that said, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.